That was me.
I am so sorry. We are unmuted. Camera's on now.
Thank you.
You want to start your report over?
Could I ask the question just for clarification that we weren't muted at the time of the elections and
We
They just came unmuted about 30 seconds ago.
Yep. That's when I could start hearing as well.
so I don't know if I can continue with my report if the committee was not really established, Mr. Chair.
We had a quorum present in person, but Bob Frank is online, who is a member of the committee and didn't have a chance to vote.
Well, what do you think?
Did I hear?
So,
No, we don't have to do it.
is Supervisor Frank the only one online who's a committee member?
it appears so, sir.
That's what I thought.
What should we do? Start over?
To be the most correct, that might be the safest procedure, is to go back and pick up with the election and do it again. I'm thinking that's probably what our court counsel would tell us. I don't know.
We're kind of used to doing this anyway.
Well, we're getting some practice, aren't we?
Yeah. So.
Do you want to redo the elections, Miranda?
Okay,
And never put me in charge.
I'm so sorry. I should have verified there was okay. So we are literally starting over from the beginning. I mean, I call this to order.
I think we'll start from the elections of committee chair.
Okay, so back to
And
number.
note the roll call that Bob Frank is present.
Yes. I have the.
If you pull me out, I'll come back.
Okay,
Once again, I'll nominate Randy Susan.
hold on,
Gotta
a
wait.
second. Just for clarity, I will take roll again.
Yeah, start at the beginning.
So I will start over.
Do you think you should start at the beginning of the meeting order at this time, so it's open to the public?
I'm sorry.
You're gonna call the meeting to order right now,
Okay. Okay, so, as the clerk, I am calling the meeting of the Campus Reconfiguration Committee to order on Wednesday, May 6th. It is now 4:11 p.m. And I am going to take roll call again to verify that we have a quorum for this meeting. I am calling for Caro.
Yeah, here.
Schoonover,
Present.
Engel, Perry,
Here.
Turk,
Here.
Frank,
Here.
Mr. Frank? Okay. And Williamson. Not here. All right, we now have 5 for a quorum. The third item on the agenda is the approval of or verification of open meeting law compliance. This has been properly noticed in the normal places of the clerk's office, the bulletin board, and the courthouse, and on the county's website. And then for number 4, approval of agenda, I am going to ask for a motion to approve our 17-point agenda.
Move to approve.
First by Caro, do I have a second?
Right here.
This by Mr. Schoonover. All right, all in favor of approving the 17-point agenda in front of us? Everyone say aye.
Aye.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, we have an agenda, and then and just to verify everyone online can hear us, we have the 5th item is the election of the committee chair. So if everyone can hear us, I am going to, at 4:12, open the floor again for nominations for the committee chair of the Campus Reconfiguration Committee. Do I have a nomination for the Mr. Perry?
I nominate Randy Schoonover.
Okay. And do I have any other nominations for committee chair? Do I hear any other committee or nominations for committee chair? Are there any other nominations for committee chair? And Mr. Frank, you can hear us, correct?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Hearing no other nominations, I will entertain a motion to close the nominations for committee chair and cast a unanimous ballot for Randy Schoonover. Do I have a, by Mr. Turk?
Second.
And do I have a second? Mr. Perry? Was that? Rod, was that you? Okay. All right. All in favor of closing the nominations and casting a unanimous ballot, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Hearing none, Mr. Schoonover. You are the chair. Please proceed.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is election of the committee vice chair, and I would open for any nominations for that.
I nominate Dave Turk.
Okay. Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Last and final call, any nominations for vice chair?
Mr. Chair, I move to close the nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Mr. Turk. I second.
The election is closed. The next item is approval.
We need to vote.
We need to vote. All those in favor of Dave Turk for being the vice chairperson, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? We have. Now, the approval of the minutes for March 5th, 2026 meeting is in your packets. You want to take a look at that and see if there's any changes that need to be made or additions. If not, I will approve them as written. Going on with public comments. I don't believe there was anybody the first time. So we'll skip over that and we're going to the reports, the administrator.
So I have had Kickapoo and Ithaca out at the campus to get additional supplies. Weston will be coming soon to look, see if there's anything that's available. What we have found is it's the science building. There's a lot of unopened boxes of beakers and all kinds of fun stuff. And so I know Kickapoo was very excited about it and had reached out to other schools too and said, get out there, there's lots of stuff to take. The Friends of the Library was out to get more books. Department heads are going to be going out. They were offered all to go out again. 2 are going to be going out next week, and the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office both have gotten additional things from the campus. And then I would like to turn it over to Josh to give an update on the progress with the demolition of the buildings.
Okay, as previously stated, there's a lot of new members to this committee, there's some new faces. So a while back, I was tasked to work on behalf of the administrator to orchestrate the demolition of the existing buildings at the campus using the grant funding that we were awarded for some county. So I'll start with the bidding timeline, just so everybody kind of understands the sequence of events, and then I'll kind of elaborate from there. So April 27th through the May 1st was the release of that for bid. May 12th at 10:30 a.m. in Melville Hall, a mandatory pre-bid meeting for all prime contractors. That means in order to place a bid on the demolition of those buildings, they have to be present in person that day to walk through the buildings. May 29th at 10 a.m. the bids will be due. And then they'll be properly vetted by SEH with recommendations of good, better, best, based on what they're providing back. And at June 16th, we would look that the county board approved the award for the bid. And again, on that, you're not just approving the bid for all the buildings at once. The county board will have the right to pick and choose what buildings they want to include in the bid, as we have the buildings being bid separately on price tags for each individual one. So you can pick and choose what you want to do with them. June 17th, we will issue the notice of award and begin contracting. November 1st, substantial completion date. That means that by November 1st, we want all the buildings to be completely gone and turned back to a grassy field. December 1st is ready for final payment. With that, so if you go to the county's website, that's where you'll find the advertisement for bid underneath, the announcements tab. And just follow the links in there, it'll take you to the website where the RFP is currently housed. Now, because there's asbestos identified in those buildings, asbestos abatement had to be done, and the bid contract, or the bid documents, I should say, is 237 pages long to identify all the points of concerns, everything that the contractors have to follow. The contract for bid will also include, like, if they're late getting the job done, if they run over their time, there's fees, so on and so forth. So it's a pretty bolstered contract along with insurance to work out at the campus facility. And we did actually like the city's version of what they require for insurance on projects, so we kind of mimic theirs as well. So it's very, very bolstered. So at this point, we know that there's been quite a few contractors that have got a hold of bid documents, and we look to have a pretty good turnout the 12th, and then we'll kind of proceed from there as we go. Mr. Chair.
Any questions for anybody? Go ahead.
So this is very hard for us to look at the bid documents also.
Nope, it's open to the public, so if you just follow links, you can go and view those. If you want to personally get a hold of those documents, there's a fee involved with that because of the website and the SEH, but if you follow the instructions, it tells you how to view those documents for free. I will tell you, when you go to look at it, it's very large and there's lots of categories, but if you want to snuggle up with a blanket and eat some popcorn, by all means, have at it.
Sounds fun.
You think it's costly to build a building, what if you tear one down?
Yeah. Just about equal.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to item number 10, discussion of the UW redevelopment grant application update.
It is done. We have a signed contract that I received yesterday back from WEDC, so we are good to go. My first report was due on April 30th, so that'll be a little bit late because I just got the notice today that I have to do that first report. But we can make requests for money in 3 different blocks, so we are going to be turning our first one in soon so that we can get reimbursement for the bridge. And then there were a couple of other items we've already paid for. So we'll work on getting that first payment, hopefully coming within the month.
Any questions or comments?
We maxed it out to the 2 million then?
Oh, and beyond, I think. Yeah, I'm getting a little scared about all the costs for demo when I'm starting to hear how much asbestos was in there, how much it's going to be. Yes. Yeah.
Would you guys like me to elaborate on like price range at all? I mean, we have some rough information, but the market is kind of up and down on there because different regions, different size of buildings, square footage, so on and so forth. So looks like we're coming in at an average of around, from other demo projects not associated with Richland County, of course, between 21 to 22 bucks a square foot, and you could see a $5 price tag swing in either direction. So if you were to do everything but the copper top, you might be approaching, $700,000. If you were to decide to do everything, including copper top, you're going to be over $1 million. That's if you come in at $21 to $22 a square foot, and again, that could swing more, it could swing less, but that's as close to comparable. Like, there's not a set fee with the state of Wisconsin to even mimic because of the current market and the prices associated with construction and demolition. But we look at comparables to what we had.
Sure.
David Turk.
Yes. Is that taking into consideration, like copper that might be salvaged and things like that too?
Correct. So, and that anything left on the property, once the contractor takes over for the demolition, that becomes their property. So they'll do whatever they see fit with it, whether they say, hey, we're going to make money, so we're going to cut them a little bit of a break on the demo. Everything out there, so we won't have to send crews in to finish moving out, whatever's left behind. That's the contractor's problem.
Thank you.
So this will be a public bid opening then?
Yes, it will be advertised as public bid. Just read the instructions on Richland County's website. It's all posted on there, and it's going to be open to the public to view the bids. And then they're not going to decide anything. They're just going to open it, see the price tags, and then they shut it down, and then they vet the contractors from there.
So it's an online open bid is what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Is there any pre-qualification of bidders?
The only qualifications that were put in place is that they have to be there in person, meet the insurance requirements. After that, after we review the bids, then we look at the qualifications of those individual contractors.
Anything else you think of? Thank you. Moving on to number 12, discussion and possible action of the demolition of the Wallace Solutions Center.
You missed 11.
Oh, I did. No? Yes,
The request for interest, we haven't done yet.
you're correct, Mike. Discussion and possible action of the request for interest review.
So we received 3 different requests for interest. I will turn it over to SEH right now to talk about the 3 of them, and then we can talk further about our conversation with the city earlier.
Thanks, Tricia. Yeah, in the packet today, you'll see a interest from Spees Construction, a private developer out of La Crosse. You'll see Richland Center, the city, has interest. And we also have interest most recently from Mark Miller for the Copper Top. So that was a late addition, but it did make it to your packets. And we reviewed those, and we're, I think, Brian, did you have a presentation you wanted to share, kind of going through it? Brian Fukuda? I don't know if he's able to share his screen, but just some talking points and different ideas to, so everyone can see. Maybe we can't share. I don't know.
You should be able to share. I wonder if Brian's having issues with his volume like he did earlier today.
There we go. I can see it, Brian. But I can't hear you. I don't think anyone can hear you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm going to try to mute us and then unmute us briefly to see if that will help. I'm not entirely sure. Or are you speaking about Brian?
How about now?
Perfect.
All right. Sorry, for whatever reason, my audio is not jiving with WebEx here, so my apologies. But yeah, just wanted to just kind of share just a brief overview of each of the proposals that we received, and then we're happy to answer questions and kind of talk through maybe some next steps. But so just to kind of briefly overview the 3 proposals that we had, as Nate indicated, Spees Construction out of La Crosse submitted a letter of interest. They're a residential builder. They have significant experience primarily in La Crosse, but with their experiences with single family, some twin-doe development, primarily owner-occupied, and then they also developed a pocket neighborhood development in the city of La Crosse. And so what they expressed an interest through their letter in is acquiring approximately 6 acres where they would do potentially, they're open to a mix or one or all of a pocket neighborhood, some twin-does, and some single-family homes. They really have a preference to be able to do a pocket neighborhood style of development because they had a really good experience with that when they completed one in La Crosse. The homes would generally be single-level, 2 to 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2-car garage, full unfinished basements. With a stubbed-in bathroom is kind of a product that they've scoped out for this opportunity. They would target prices under $400,000, and again, really trying to get it as affordable as possible. But just in the market today, it's hard to get too much below that $400,000 level. But they would need infrastructure improvements to be able to complete that. So that's kind of where they're at. The interest that was received from the city of Richland Center showed an interest in acquiring approximately 10 to 12 acres of the undeveloped cropland. Specifically, they indicated an interest in kind of the northwest portion above that tree line in the northwest corner. They would extend municipal infrastructure improvements and then subdivide into 17 to 24 lots for residential development. They would then solicit private builders to construct for sale homes, really kind of targeting single family detached 1,500 to 2,500 square foot with a target price range similarly in that 300 to potentially 475. But they would be in a position where they could leverage the city utilities, their engineering, their TIF authority, and then the federal grant funding that they would have access to. And then lastly, Mark Miller had, as Nate indicated, had submitted an interest in a potential repurpose of the Copper Top building. He would only be proposing moderate renovations. There's certainly opportunity there for a significant renovation of that property, but what Mark indicated an interest in was just kind of moderate interior renovations of the building to kind of, bring things up to code, improve the electrical and go through some of those systems. You would have a proposed use of a pretty wide variety of uses there, from kind of mid-sized music and theater performances, business seminars, trainings, catered events, music lessons and studio and rehearsal space, art shows, small events, mentioned a possible music store or even possibly a restaurant that would leverage the existing kitchen that's in the facility. We did have other conversations. We really tried to spread this to developers far and wide, had some good conversations, but it was just really difficult attracting other developers into the community from outside, just because there's so much demand for housing everywhere, and they're finding other opportunities in other communities, and so that was a challenge. We also did want to note, we had a pretty good conversation with Habitat for Humanity. They're interested in participating on some level. I shared a Habitat from the La Crosse area did a project in Hillsborough, and they would be interested in potentially mentoring the Habitat affiliate that serves the Richland Center area in a project along those lines. Probably not as significant in scale as that, but just because of the complexities of that, it was hard to get them to a point that they were comfortable submitting a letter of interest on the timeline that we were on. So just wanted to point out that there is interest still there, but just, really would need to further develop that and kind of, help move them forward. So next steps, really just getting general feedback tonight, maybe deciding a direction on the Copper Top building. I know that's part of your agenda as well. And then, as Tricia indicated, we did have a conversation with the city about just, potentially trying to kind of dovetail some of the proposals together into moving forward on some residential development and a possible development agreement there. So that just kind of lays out kind of what we saw, but yeah, definitely interested in just kind of getting general feedback and answering questions that you might have on where we're at.
I've got one question for you. Under the city's proposal, they show us the area that they want, which is fine. The 6 acres that the Spies Corporation wants, do you know exactly where that location is of the 6 acres?
Yeah, great question. They're pretty flexible. I think, as we kind of came into it, we were thinking it would be better from a long-term standpoint to put infrastructure in off of the new bridge and, you know, kind of get in through the main campus area. And then, you know, kind of focus that first phase of construction with SPEES down more in the area where the existing buildings would be demolished. But, you know, as the city has shown an interest in that other area, I think SPEES would be open to that. But again, just really, you know, they wanted to show general interest in participating in the development of this area, but didn't want to get too detailed because there's just still a lot of conversation that needs to be had while we look at just potential phasing and what makes the most sense from that standpoint.
I was just hoping that we weren't talking about the same acreage between the two projects.
But it could be the same acreage, and that's what we discussed earlier today, you know, the city's really looking to put a whole development up there. This could be a part of their development.
Sure,
And it
sure.
could be on the wooded land or on the open field beyond the trees.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
when I read the packet, I thought I died and gone to heaven. I mean, we have somebody that wants to develop the land, put in the infrastructure, and we have somebody that wants to build houses.
And we got somebody.
What are we gonna go for beyond that? I mean, this is
Don't we?
what we've been about for years.
That's a basis lower home run. Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea to start with.
Do we know how many acres would be left buildable if the city's 10 to 12 acres took one chunk? Would there be enough room for fees of somebody who put in their pocket neighborhood or whatever? I don't know how many acres are left.
I think, yes, there would be enough room. I think it would be the infrastructure. There wouldn't be the funding to put the infrastructure in there.
I don't think SPEES was aware of the city's proposal. I mean, we need to bring these people together.
And that's where we are. So we came together earlier today. Josh, myself, the city, the two here, and Scott Galdell came together and talked earlier about here's where we could go, but we need blessing from this committee to continue the discussions.
I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
As happy as I was, I hadn't seen the Miller part.
That came in late.
So that even, I mean, that's gonna save us, what, in demolition, $300,000? I think is what Josh
Supervisor.
indicated.
Yeah. Question I would have about that, he mentioned moderate renovations. Is he cognizant of the level of repair that would be needed before any renovation would happen? And potential impacts of, we were told as we looked at demolishing buildings that if you bring part of it up to code, you have to bring the whole thing up to code. I'm just wondering if that person's aware of that.
So he is aware of that.
Okay.
He's seen the facility as it currently stands. He's actually doing some of the termination of electric to a lot of those buildings, so he is aware of it. But he has the interest in it, but he has to make sure it's gonna work though too. I mean, it's a long road for him before he's ready to say, ready, set, go, let's do this. So that, I mean, the want is there from him, but he has to make sure it still works for him as well.
And it's going to present some infrastructure challenges because it's set up, and Ashley or Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's really set up on a loop. We'd have to get, you know, the utilities to that building. So that would be that increased cost too.
Yeah. I guess my view on the copper top is there's no rush. We drain the water, it's stable, and so let's just put that to the side for now. And maybe Mark's idea will come through, maybe it won't, but let's get the housing going and focus on that.
And we talked, you know, earlier when we met, we talked about getting a group of us together from the city and the county to start talking about what other things can we put in the campus property. You know, my goal always was to get buildings in the campus property where we're tearing down the other buildings. So the city has agreed to sit down with us and really start talking about what can we put there. So we'll start working on engaging in those discussions in the next month.
Question, has anybody ever mentioned retail? Any talk of any retail development?
That is one of the things that they had hoped, maybe not necessarily, but businesses, and they never got anybody expressing interest. I think the city's hope is if we build a subdivision out there, then that'll lead to other
Bring more in.
industry.
Yeah, I just say to add, if I can, just we did have some conversations with some commercial and mixed use developers, but nothing that really, amounted to an actual letter of interest. We had kind of hoped. I mean, it's probably not the market analysis showed that it probably isn't the best area for an intense retail development, but we did hope that we could potentially get like some office or mixed use, but it just didn't amount to or didn't result in any letter of interest. So we were unfortunate, but I think as things maybe start to move forward, if the phasing can be planned out in the right way, you could still have the opportunity for something like that to come in. Especially kind of building off if there is some momentum around the Copper Top building, if Mark's able to pull that together, that could provide some opportunity for some kind of ancillary uses that would build off of the traffic that type of a facility might generate.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, the only thing I would say about Copper Top is that we have time, yes, during the course of demolition though. So we generally have till about midsummer to include it or not include it, because once the contractors move out of there, we decide, oh, now we want to demolish it. Now the cost is going to go up because that's another mobilization cost. That's a whole another heap of stuff just for the one building. So you have some time, but you don't have a year or 2 years to decide if you wanted to include it in demolition. I just wanted to be clear on that.
And it would definitely be cheaper to demo it now than it would be a year.
While all the contractors are there on site.
Any more discussion?
So if I think we ought to go forward with the city's offer, do I make a motion or how we do this?
I would prefer that you make a
I
motion
make
and
a
then
motion that we go with the city's proposal, and they will work with Spies or any other actual builder, and let's do that.
A second.
At this point, we're just talking about conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On to number 13, a possible discussion and action on the rummage sale for campus items. No, we did. It's my fault. Discussion and possible action of the demolition of the wall at Student Center.
And we have really talked about that item, but that's probably something we'll repeatedly put on there to eventually have to make a decision about what we do about the wall at Student Center.
That's not yet currently in the inquiry that's Josh.
It is in the inquiry.
Is it separate add-on?
Yeah, because how they set up the demolition bid is that you bid each building. I mean, we'll obviously go with one, but then it'll be easy. If somebody all of a sudden said, let's say at the library, we can pull that one out and have the list. I mean, we're not going to do that, but yeah.
So there's really no action at this time.
There's no action that needs to be taken. And at the time we created the agenda, we didn't have Mark Miller's bid. And so we really, at that time, was intending to just get your blessing to demo it.
Question. The motion Steve made and I seconded and we passed. Is that going to the executive committee then, or to the county board?
I will leave that up to you, but my thoughts were it would just not go to that level until we got closer. I will definitely notify them in my report, and I will notify full county board, but if you want it to go to executive, I will gladly take it.
Well,
Because this is mainly just for a discussion period, yeah. There's no
too
decision.
early to go to either one.
Yeah, I think so.
I just wanted to clarify
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Well, I would assume the next step, if we're saying, yes, this is the direction we want to take, is that our administrator and them would start meeting, and eventually there would formal legal things would happen.
You good?
Yep.
Number 13, possible action with the rummage sale for the campus item.
So this is something that this committee has thrown out quite a bit. Now that we're on a path to demo the buildings, I was wondering, do we want to do a rummage sale? My thoughts were that we, the committee and myself, go out to the campus. Like we pick a Saturday, 8 to noon. We pick a couple of us at each building. We let people come through, make an offer, take what they want.
How much stuff is still in it? I have no idea.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
The problem is, when people went out and picked stuff out of there, they left stuff, they took their stuff back and left it there. It was
Yeah.
like a swap.
They what?
Randy took old stuff from here out and took better stuff back. It had to go
Stuff in
somewhere.
the students.
So we really, we got rid of the campus stuff, but we inherited stuff. It was kind of a, yeah.
Well, two questions. Who's literally gonna be the auctioneer?
We're not thinking auction, I'm thinking rummage sale. People can walk in and say, "Ooh, I want that couch. I'm gonna pay you $20 for that couch." And we say,
Back up your
Great.
truck.
Okay, and then second, for the stuff that doesn't, no one wants, and it's still in there, do the demo people know that that's something they'll have? Okay.
yep. And we can confirm with Josh when he comes back, if he's coming back, but that was something that was built in, that whatever is in the buildings at that date that they take over, it's their responsibility.
Do you think we're shooting for June?
I was looking at May 30th, 8 to noon, but that's really, if that's a tough time, we can definitely look to June.
Yes.
Would there still be stuff in the office building too that might be included in that, or has the school district gone through there yet to see what they want?
They haven't, so I was thinking not Melville, that we would keep that one separate, that it would just be Copper Top, Science, and Library and Classroom.
We want to actually do the copper tap, though, we have a bid on the building.
I think yes, because I don't think he's gonna necessarily want
Want
everything
stuff
that's in
that's in
there.
there.
And like, there's file cabinets and file cabinets of music that's still out there, and there have been interest in that.
Would it be worth a touch base with this man and let him know that's what we're doing, if there is anything in there that he wants?
Yes, I've let them know when people have called to ask with interest of things in there. I've let them know that we are looking into having a rummage sale and to watch the website because we would post it on.
Yes, Mr. Carroll.
I guess from Josh's timeline, the board would approve the demo bids on June 16th. So it's sometime after that is when someone would mobilize, but I can't make May 30th for a rummage sale. Not that you need me.
Oh, we'll need you. Would June 6th be better?
Would be for me. I don't know about you guys.
Or they don't know.
8 to 12, you see?
That's what I was thinking. So I will work on advertising that. And we can plan to meet that morning at 7:45.
How much good out of these two?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
do we need to have some kind of meeting prior to that to do our plan of attack and everything, to just plan out the logistics?
I would think that would be a very good idea, yeah.
If perhaps schedule a committee meeting before that? Okay.
So we're gonna go June 6th, 8 to 12. And then should we plan a meeting before then?
Yep, that'll be our next item.
And, okay, we're gonna move on to the next item then, discussion of possible action set for the future meeting date.
So we could look to June 3rd at 4 o'clock, if that works.
Does that work for everybody?
Should be.
Okay, Carol. Carol, I'm sorry.
I have to get used to keeping her
I
eye.
guess so.
So, to Mr. Turk's point, would that be something we want to do on site, that meeting? I mean, to do our strategy, would be kind of hard to do from here.
Good thought.
At the campus.
The only
It'd be
thing.
good to look at, besides just that, but there's about 30 acres of crop ground left if we utilize the 10, 12 acres. So it would give an opportunity for those that haven't been out there to look at what's left. So, yeah, we should have plenty of time if we move forward, and that's really the only thing that will be.
Yeah.
Maybe an update on the city county talk.
The only thing we'll lose by doing that is we won't have our online connection for people, so.
Well,
Yeah, we notice it ahead of time, then we're,
Yeah, as long as it's on a public notice, we don't worry.
we make sure the news reporter comes along.
Sure I will. So we will meet January 3rd or June 3rd, 4 PM at the campus. Is there any correspondence today?
I have not received any, sir.
Future agenda items,
All of the above.
all the above that we've spoken about.
Mr. Chair, if we do have a meeting on the 3rd and we get any updates from stuff we've talked about, it'd be nice to get that posted so people can still see it even if they can't make the meeting. Just an update newsletter or something, just to get it out for folks.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
And I guess we are at number 17, we have a motion for adjournment.
move to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Carroll and Mr. Perry, first and second. Meeting is adjourned.
Ready to vote.
Oh, all in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Vote no. So we are adjourned.
You guys settled on the 6th.
Yes.
Say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say like that. Second. So maybe the thing is a discussion like power, like stay like that.
Yes. Yes.
So,